Good morning. I have not done a video in a while in the first thing in the morning, and I'm actually very excited to do this video today. It feels good to do the video first thing in the morning. When For those of you who don't know, before I actually get into the topic, the morning is the best time to connect with whatever your source is, whether it's God or higher power or whatever. It is the best time because your brain has healed itself, your mind has healed itself through a night of sleep, and we are more open and available. So it's always important for me to do my morning writing practice, which of course includes my Ho'oponopono prayers, as well as my other prayers, as well as learning my French first thing in the morning, because I'm more open, I'm more available to possibly being able to pronounce and understand the beautiful French language. So, already off on a tangent before getting started on what I wanted to actually talk about today, but it's really important to know this, to know that you are so available to information from the ether that is not available a lot of times the rest of the day, because the rest of the day we get going and get started, and by the time breakfast is rolling along and you're either watching the news or reading the news, you have got yourself back to exactly where you were the day before, which is one of the reasons it's probably not a good idea. But, be that as it may. But whatever you can do first thing in the morning to bring in the energy from the greater sphere is really good. Like, for example, this morning I have done my Ho'oponopono practice and I have done an hour of French. Plus, I've also done my prayers on my knees, which are very short. Not the knees, but the prayers are very short, but it still is part of my practice. So that said, let's move on. So I was looking at a list of possible ideas, and the one that struck me was pardon. There is this wonderful French speaker, transformational person called Olivier Clerc, C-L-E-R-C, and Olivier. Very bad French pronunciation, very Americanized French pronunciation. But anyways, be that as it may, his whole deal is talking about pardon or pardon. And I love that. I love that. It's so in alignment with what I do with Ho'oponopono and some of my other prayers, where I am constantly letting go and taking action to let go of my connections with other people and whatever they are, so that both of us can flourish in the best way that we know how. And isn't that about pardoning? Isn't that about letting bygones be bygones and moving on? I think it is, anyways. I did a video which I'm never going to publish a few days ago because I was greeted a week ago with a very challenging situation. I got a text from what I consider to be a very good friend of mine, essentially telling me to go screw me. You know what I'm saying. And I was just so surprised by that. And not at the same time, because I also knew some of the background that she was going through. So I really didn't take it very personally. The only thing that I will say about it is that it hurt a lot. It just hurt. And I was very sad about the fact that this had been what happened. So for me, the immediate action to take on this is to start the process of letting go. I don't want to spend a lot of time in the anger and the hurt, but I'm not getting rid of it either. See, that's the key. I'm not like pivoting 180 degrees and completely ignoring it. I'm allowing it to be there to a degree, and I think to an important degree. For example, one of the things that I did to make sure that I got all of that out was to write letters that are never to be sent. And I wrote 2 of those letters. One of them was pretty bitchy, and the second one was less bitchy and more compassionate, but both of them were not appropriate letters to send. You know, coming back at somebody when they're in that mode of attack is not an appropriate thing to do. Because, and people will say, well, why not? And I say, because there is no space of listening from the other person. The other person has gone to such a degree off the edge that there's no space to listen. And the other part of that is if I don't start the process of letting go pretty soon, then my ego takes over and it becomes self-righteous. And I have never seen self-righteousness actually work in the 64 years that I have been on the planet. Because I've tried it. Let me tell you, I have tried it. And it doesn't work. So how quickly can I get into a state of compassion? Now, a state of compassion, a state of pardon, does not mean that I am going to become friends with this person or even reach out again. In fact, I'm not reaching out because the things that were said to me were so inappropriate that I won't be treated like that. Period. I just will not be treated like that. So, what can I do? What can I do? Well, there's several things I can do, and I've talked about these before, and I'll talk about them again. But it really is going back to talking about pardoning other people, just pardoning them. God forgive them, for they know not what they do. I say that all the time. God, please forgive them, for they know not what they do. And I certainly hope that other people are praying for me in that same way, because I'm very clear that I ain't no saint in regards to all of this. However, what has become clear to me in the last so years, and particularly in the last year, 2020, is that I need to let go and forgive and pardon as quickly as possible, and for a very selfish reason. It is about me feeling better. And the more action that I take towards releasing stuff from me, the better I feel. Just absolutely the better I feel. So I will tell you really quickly, and then I'll finish the video. My actions are very simple. I do the Ho'oponopono prayer, the larger form. If you would like more information on that, you can contact me, and we can even have a couple of coaching sessions about it, because it does bring up a lot of stuff. The next thing I also do is I do a prayer that is very simple. I pray for this person, and I pray that they may have everything that I wish for in my life. I pray for their happiness, their health, and their prosperity. And the real kicker here is I don't have to mean it. I just have to do it. I don't have to mean it. But what I have found is twofold. One is I do end up meaning it at some point. For example, I have been doing that prayer now for 3 or 4 days. And this morning when I did the prayer, I said to myself, oh, I am beginning to mean it. Not a lot yet, but I am beginning to mean it. The next thing I do is I have another prayer, very similar, and that prayer is, God save me from being angry. This is a sick person I'm dealing with. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. And that is an equally powerful, powerful prayer in terms of letting go of a situation. So there you have it. Those are 3 actions. Interesting, all of them are about prayer. And I have released a lot, because that was a real slap across the face, that someone would say the things that were said to me. I would rank that as probably one of the top 5 most horrible things that have ever been said to me in my entire life on the planet. So you can see the scale of that. And you can also see that it became very important to me almost immediately to let go and to pardon. And I know that this brings up a lot of stuff for people, because they want to be right. And I would rather be happy. Thank you so much for listening today. It was a pleasure. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. Bonne journée.